All right, we have the last boss in Upper Karazhan to talk about. So this boss is actually probably one of the least, I would say the least healing intensive boss in this entire dungeon by quite a long shot. The main thing is about group positioning and your own dispel timings. Because the dispels for Chaotic Shadows, that's going to be the thing that wipes your group, if anything. So it's about you being smart about dispelling certain people and also about other players being positioned correctly. So this is an example of the Chaotic Shadows, but we'll show a better example once we get to the second and third platforms because that's when it gets chaotic. The only thing you really need to be mindful about in this fight, besides just dodging things and not getting one shot by stuff, is if any of the burning blasts go off, you need to just make sure that you either dispel the tank immediately or you need to keep them topped up for the duration of the dot because the burning blast dot will last about, I think it's about 8 seconds, and it will do a substantial amount of damage if you're not ready for it. So just always, especially in pugs, always be mindful that an interrupt might not happen. So the cast might go through once in a while. So expect it and be ready for it, and you'll be able to handle it just fine. As for dealing with the chaotic shadows in these phases, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to run through here and get to the end. I'm just waiting for this to disintegrate just to play it safe. And we're running all the way through. And now what we're doing is waiting here at the marker, and then we're waiting until the boss finishes this disintegrate cast, starts a new one, and then we're going in. Because as soon as you engage, the boss will stop his disintegrate. But if he's already in the middle of casting one, he will keep casting it until he finishes. So if you go in right as soon as he starts a fresh cast, you get a lot of free damage on him. And here I put down 3 markers, and these are markers to help my group go to different spots because luckily enough we're in voice, so I have them go to different spots when they get chaotic shadows. They just call what marker they're going to so that no one else is around that marker, and it lets us spread out the chaotic shadows. And then I stand on the spot that I didn't mark because that essentially serves as a 4th marker. And then here, obviously, we wanted to prioritize dispelling melee typically because we want them to get back in and doing damage to the boss as soon as they can. So we dispel the hunter. I get caught up in some stuff on accident and we make a mistake. What I should have done there is probably just mass dispelled myself. So I should have just dispelled the hunter and then shortly after just mass dispelled myself. I think that's generally a safe bet as long as you are again in the correct positions and spread out far enough to where the chaotic shadows isn't just going to instantly pop near other players. So it's just about staying nice and spread out and having the chaotic shadows be on like opposite ends of the room, or at least just being on opposite sides of the platform. And then here at the end, you really just need to be mindful of the tank's HP because these mobs, the Felguard sentries, are going to apply a stacking dot on them. So you want to just, again, magic dispel that, or just be mindful of their HP, use externals on them, and help them survive that. So there we dispel, we Guardian Angel, and then we're doing as much damage as we can here pretty much, because as soon as the stabilizing rift is done, we're going to have to deal with 3 chaotic shadows at the same time, and it gets very hectic very fast. So here he's going to finish a disintegrate cast, and then he'll go into the chaotic shadows. I didn't put markers down here, but hopefully your group, by doing it in the second platform, they'll understand to do it in the third. Here we dispel a little bit early and make it hectic, but the hunters do have turtle, so they're able to just kind of sit there. Again, we should have mass dispelled there. I think I ended up mass dispelling the monk and it didn't dispel the others because the idea was that they were just the 2 hunters were going to turtle. I would just mass dispel and then the monk would just have to be really on his toes, but the hunters would be totally fine because they would just immune all the orbs that hit them anyways. So we would kind of just get rid of all of them at once. But luckily enough, we do get rid of the debuffs either way. We do end up dying, but it's good enough because we got rid of the debuffs and everybody else is alive, and that's all we really need. Because after you get rid of those chaotic shadows, you should be able to kill the boss before you get another set. If you get the second set of chaotic shadows, that's where the problems usually arise, and it's more about killing the boss a bit faster and trying to push out a bit more DPS. But if you do have to deal with the second chaotic shadows, it is doable. It's just difficult. So hopefully that helps, and see you later.